It was Barack Obama who once said, the best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something. Don't wait for good things to happen to you. If you go out and make some good things happen, you will fill the world with hope. You will fill yourself with hope. Take some time to reflect on this and make a difference in someone else's life. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkins, and we have an interesting show lined up just for you. Stay tuned.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Protect yourself from the bite of this mosquito. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Cervical cancer, caused by the human papillomavirus HPV, is a major public health concern in Jamaica. Almost 50% of the women diagnosed each year die from this preventable disease. To prevent cervical cancer and save lives, the Ministry of Health is providing the bivalent HPV vaccine to girls ages 9 to 14 years free of cost. Parents, give your girls a fighting chance against this deadly disease. The bivalent HPV vaccine is safe and provides 90 to 100% protection against HPV type 16 and 18, which are responsible for most HPV-caused cancers. Call the Ministry of Health's toll-free line 1-888-1-LOVE or 1-888-663-5683 for more information, or email us at hpvinfo@moh.gov.jm. You can also find further information on the website moh.gov.jm, as well as the Ministry of Health's social media channels.
The JIS team makes regular visits to the Mount Olivet Boys' Home each year as part of the company's corporate social responsibility. And last Christmas was no different. Take a look.
The Jamaica Information Service staff, along with the agency's partnering sponsors, make routine treks to the cool hills of Walterston, Manchester yearly. Christmas is one of 3 main visiting times when these caring agents of change bring special joy and warmth to the boys at the Mount Olivet home. This past Christmas was as joyful as any for the wards of the state. A word of prayer and a rendition of melodious caroling by the team set the tone for their annual awards and Christmas luncheon held in December. For their part, the boys, in addition to reciting the Christmas story, showed off their vocal and musical talent. Operators of the home are most grateful for the strong partnership with the JIS, which has been providing sponsorship and well-needed supplies to the home since 2009. Company CEO Donna Marie Rowe sees this corporate sponsor initiative as a winning tool to encourage and inspire the children in their care.
We just want to encourage the boys today, as we have stuck with you these 9 years. We want you to know how much we love you, we care about you, and we want the best for you. We want you to turn out, take your book, take your education. These boys are showing us that they are doing it. 13 of them were placed between 1 and 10 in their classes. We wish for you all the very best for 2019 when we celebrate our 10th anniversary with big things.
The agency adopted the home in 2009 and continues to provide well-needed items for the boys with the help of Corporate Jamaica while maintaining a mentorship program. Director at Mount Olivet Home for Boys, Patrick Newman, says there are development plans in the works, including a woodwork shop.
Hope that as time goes by, we will just transform Mount Olivet Boys Home bit by bit, so that the boys who come to us will leave here as worthwhile citizens.
Mr. Newman says the generosity extended to the Mount Olivet Boys Home by the Jamaica Information Service and its corporate partners is bearing fruit. At the 2018 Christmas visit, they awarded those boys who showed outstanding conduct and performance throughout the year. The young men were honored for having the most improved behavior, most improved academics, most disciplined, most helpful, and the coveted title Boy of the Year. Friends and staff of the JIS presented donations from companies including Pink's Fabrics, the Heart Trust NTA Boys Town Vocational Training Center, Caribbean Broilers, Rainforest Seafood, Fontana Pharmacy, and Wisynco through the YB Afraid Foundation. The team also shared cake, birthday cards, and gifts celebrating birthday anniversaries for those boys born during the months of September to December. Special thanks go out to everyone who contributed and supported the effort to give to the home, including the state-owned bus company. The next major visit to the facility comes up in April when the Mount Olivet Home Sports Day will take center stage.
Protect Jamaica, plant your grass. Help us become more resilient to climate change impacts. Protect Jamaica, plant a tree. It improves the island's national biodiversity. Trees may be fruit, ornamental, or timber, but must be native or suitable to the area's natural landscape. Join the Jamaica Million Tree Campaign and help to plant 1 million trees by June 30, 2019. This is a call to action by the National Environment and Planning Agency.
On Tuesday, the Ministry of Tourism will be hosting the first of two conferences in Montego Bay. The second Global Conference on Jobs and Inclusive Growth, Small and Medium Tourism Enterprises, is being held at the Convention Center. Here are the details.
Jamaica's tourism sector will once again play host to world leaders. The country's second city has been chosen as the venue to meet on two critical matters, with one aim in mind: to increase travel and tourism spending. So come January 29 and 30, government officials and global investors will convene at the Montego Bay Convention Center.
Two very significant international events. One is the first ever global conference on job creation and inclusive growth, with the emphasis on small and medium tourism enterprises.
The events are deliverables of the UNWTO conference hosted in November 2017 by Jamaica. There, tourism leaders agreed to the establishment of a global crisis center and the hosting of a small and medium tourism enterprises conference. Fast forward a little more than a year later, and the Ministry of Tourism is fulfilling those commitments, starting with the SMT conference.
It brings into focus the real champions of tourism, who are the small enterprises, the little man, as it were. But who are the least beneficiaries of the goods of tourism. One of the contradictions that we found was that 80% of tourism globally was constituting of the small enterprises, but only 20% of the returns from tourism went to these.
The conference itself will also facilitate the local SMTs with the ability to be able to scale. We know that one of the problems that they face is their inability to cope and also to compete with large and medium-sized enterprises around the world. And even here in Jamaica, ICTs in particular, which is one of the thematic focuses of the conference, one of the panel discussions, will provide them with the opportunity to have a fulsome understanding of how technologies can transform them, how technologies can be used to facilitate engagement between themselves and other SMTs, between other partners in the tourism value chain.
This SMTE conference is really bringing into perspective what it means for the persons who actually supply the goods and services, to see where they fit in at the bigger picture, to empower them with the knowledge, not just for them, but their community as to how they fit in into tourism.
Among the world leaders confirmed for the SMT's conference are
President Uribe, the former president of Colombia, will be the featured speaker at this conference, and we will have contributions from the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations World Tourism Organization, Mr. Cabal, also Deputy Secretary General of the OAS, and a number of other key players, including, of course, our own Minister of Industry, Commerce and Agriculture, Honorable Audley Shaw, and our Minister of Gender, Culture and Entertainment and Sports, Honorable Olivia Babsy-Grange.
This is the first time ever globally that this type of conference is being hosted in Jamaica, as a matter of fact, or anywhere in the world.
The second big event of which we are going to be featuring is the actual global launch of the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center.
the first of its kind to be established in the world. The Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center will be instituted at the University of the West Indies, Mona. In a preliminary stage of establishment for more than a year now, the center has an observatory attached. It is a repository of knowledge, information, and expertise to assist global communities respond to, manage, and recover from natural and man-made disruptions.
So on the 30th of January, that's the day after the SMTE, we will officially launch this entity by the Honorable Prime Minister himself, assisted by the President of Malta, Madame Marie-Louise Colera de Preca.
The Ministry of Tourism, championing the cause of Destination Jamaica locally and globally, emphasizing tourism resilience and increasing visitor spend.
We're excited about the prospects of those two particular international events and what they will do for Jamaica's tourism diplomacy.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash, no paper, no dash, no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
Most times when you are doing official government business, you need a Justice of the Peace, or as we normally say, a JP, to either sign or stamp a document or photograph. Have you ever wondered what else they do or what it takes to become a JP?
When you offer your service across Jamaica, it is absolutely important for you to be fair-minded. Ensure that fair play at all times is displayed, a person dispensing justice, ensuring that peace is maintained across Jamaica. To assist in solving the many problems that we are encountering in Jamaica.
We see them all over the country. We know their names. We employ their services for signing important documents, among other things. But do we know the extent of their functions, or how one even becomes a justice of the peace? Come, watch as we open the gates to the historical peacekeepers of our nation.
I'm appointed through the Ministry of Justice, and as a JP, you have to be very, very confidential. So people can come to you and they can confide in you with whatever, and you can be that person that they can talk to. You have to be a person of integrity, a person who is an unquestionable background.
You're joining a vocation that has been in existence and started from the 12th century. From 1195, the king, known as King the Lion-Hearted, said to the knights, we need distinguished persons to operate in boroughs, communities, right across England. So find some persons who can keep the peace. Some from 1195, over 800 years ago. Persons who were appointed were known as keepers of the peace. It was only in the 14th century that the term justice of the peace became the JP that you are now.
Ministry of Justice call us peacekeeper, and people do call us peacekeeper because we do keep the peace. Some of our duties that I perform, I witness documents for people, I do recommendations for some of the youths who want a job. I also do recommendations for persons who want to be surety to bail another person. So there are multiple things that I do as a justice of the peace.
The role of a JP is a voluntary one. So these officers are not to accept cash or any form of reward for the work done in their capacity as JPs.
It's something that you will do out of your heart. You have to do it as a person. You have to do it as a Jamaican. You have to love your country. And I believe that we have to stop asking the question what our country can do for us and to want to help to change our country, to change the justice system.
From there, the steps to become a justice of the peace are fairly simple. You must be a Jamaican citizen residing in the country during the time of appointment. You must be able to read and speak English fluently. You must be able to communicate and interact at all levels with all types of people. You must be a person of undeniable integrity who commands the respect of the local community. And you must be a person who has offered voluntary service to the community and the country by extension, while indicating the potential for continued service. But always remember, as a JP, you're offering a very valuable service to your country.
It's a fulfilling job, but it's also a tiring one. So I want to say to fellow justice of the peace out there, please, do it for the love. As what they say, do it for the love, not for the likes. You understand me? Make sure you're doing your job correctly. You signed up for a position to help people, help people.
$12,000 women are diagnosed with cervical cancer each year. The risk of developing these abnormal changes is associated with the infection of HPV. Not only that, early sexual contact, multiple sexual partners, and taking oral contraceptives increases your risk of developing cervical cancer. Ladies, protect yourself. Get tested. It is better to be aware than to be living in absolute fear.
Since the announcement of a dengue fever outbreak, the Ministry of Health has ramped up vector control measures to destroy mosquito breeding sites. Check this out.
Mosquito vector control in Trelawney, like many other parishes, is showing successful results. Through the Health Ministry's assault on the pesky insect, public awareness of the threat of mosquito-borne diseases is increasing. And the need to take preventative steps to avoid the unfortunate from happening is being reinforced.
The threats are many. It's not just the loss of life. That's the worst and the most extreme. It is the downtime from work, people missing work. It is the cost of medication. It is the pain and suffering to family members who suffer the pain from the ailment. So there are a list of negative consequences.
Trelawney has been experiencing marked decline in the Aedes aegypti mosquito population since the parish vector control team commenced executing the community health aid program in July 2018.
In terms of where we were even up until late last year, prior to coming on of this expanded mosquito program, we were in the middle 20%, that's Aedes index. All you have at an Aedes index is the number of houses inspected divided by the number that you'd have found breeding. As we speak, the index would have transformed. Transformed dramatically. We are now at about 9.5%. That's the parish index as we speak.
10 full-time employees within the Ministry of Health's Vector Control Unit in the parish have been facilitating the mosquito population decrease over the last few years. But supported by an additional 36 young persons engaged temporarily under the Community Health Aid Program for 3 months in the first instance, the team has been able to cast a much wider net on public enemy number 1. This 4 times bigger team, forming an army of nearly 50 persons spread out across the parish, is providing information to residents, carrying out inspections, and giving advice on how to treat with water sources that act as mosquito breeding sites. They determine the population of the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, treat and destroy breeding sites, and encourage residents to continue these preventative measures.
Our position in the ministry is that this is in fact the most effective way to deal with the threat of vector-borne diseases, and in this case, the Aedes aegypti population.
Everyone is being reminded of their personal responsibility to ensure their surroundings are void of the facilitators for mosquito breeding.
Most of our mosquito breeding sites are found in and around the homes. It is found in your backyard, it is found in your drums, in your tanks, in the used tires, in the old cans that you put down.
Where there is stored water or catchment from pipes or rainfall, mosquito breeding can take place. Storage containers must be properly sealed to prevent entry of mosquitoes.
Right, so you don't see anything breeding in here.
About 500 temporary workers support the permanent vector control staff in the Ministry of Health island-wide as they work to help persons protect their health.
It's not an easy job. You have to confront locked gates, bad dogs, unwelcoming citizens, the sun, the elements, the rain, and you still put up with all of that and carry out your jobs, and we really appreciate that.
But also that they have their part to play also, because when we would have educated them, then for the maintenance, they're the one who are supposed to continue the preventative measures.
We think that this program to support the permanent staff is important, and we will continue that. We will train these temporary workers, so at the end of it they have some additional training through HEART, as we have done before.
If it is maintained, then surely we expect to maintain the percentage at 9 or below.
Mommy? Yes, sweetie? How can I change my world?
You can change your world by being polite.
Good morning.
Good morning. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Miss.
With just one action.
We can change the world with acts of random kindness.
Stay kind, act kind, be kind.
Criminal minds think they are cunning. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency have them running. Your friend a shout, come scam. Take time running, because we ready for the ops. Drive up on your block, step out now me block, cyber take about your laptop. Pull up up every lock, no evidence to drop. We put it in a cuffs and now we have the underground. When you say scam, you better look out fit. When you move corrupt, better look out fit. Please say you get wet, look out fit. Look out fit, look out fit. From you say scam, you better look out fit. When you move corrupt, better look out fit. Please say you get wet, look out fit. Look out fit, look out fit.
The proceeding was brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, with the kind support of NIA and USAID.
MOCA, MOCA.
The severity of dengue ranges from a very mild disease to severe disease. What is important is to recognize the warning signs. Many persons are waiting until it is severe dengue. And not just severe dengue, but many persons are waiting until they see signs of bleeding before they go to hospital, okay? But severe dengue can occur without bleeding, all right? So it is important for persons to recognize the warning signs. And these warning signs include persistent vomiting, abdominal pain or tenderness in the abdomen, or signs of confusion, lethargy, persistent lethargy, restlessness, okay? What those signs are signs of decreased perfusion to the brain. It means that enough fluid is not going to the brain because persons are dehydrated, okay? The dehydration and the signs of dehydration are very important to treat.
On that note, be careful. Destroy mosquito breeding sites and visit your physician if you have any of the symptoms described by Dr. Mackenzie. You are once again being advised to avoid medication containing aspirin and to take Panadol, Satamol or paracetamol for symptoms such as headaches, fever, pain behind the eyes and nausea.
Dengue is an illness that can be treated effectively if there is timely intervention. So it is very important that the intervention is done appropriately, correctly, in the right facility.
Look inside the drum. Those are the Aedes aegypti larvae, the one that causes dengue fever. If all of these larvae mature to be adults, and if the female larva bite someone with the dengue fever, it will acquire the dengue virus. And if that mosquito bite you, you will get it.
Dengue fever? Yes. Help prevent the spread of dengue.
Clean up your home and community.
Destroy mosquito breeding sites.
Protect yourself from mosquito bites. Prevent dengue fever.
This is where the magazine closes for today. I do hope you found our program informative. Send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. Stay informed on our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, and of course there's Twitter. Or download our app on your Apple and Android devices to catch up on the go. You can also visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.